Hi and welcome back to 5 Minutes with Dr. A. So today we're going to be talking about one of the most popular and advanced treatments in the world of dentistry, and also the most simple, which is going to be whitening or bleaching, and we'll explain the differences between the two and how to expect and get certain results with different types of systems, because there are so many available out there. Whitening is one of the most advanced treatments that's available. It's extremely popular the world over. And actually, it's the easiest and most popular type of dentistry to be done in every single country around the world. Every country has a specific different way of doing things, and we all have different laws and regulations. So I will be talking about the UK regulations mainly, because that's where we're based. So as part of the UK regulations, there are two main types of being able to change the colour of teeth. Whitening involves us removing the extrinsic stains on teeth, such as tea, coffee, red wine, smoking, etc., which will all lay all those little molecules of staining across the outside of the tooth surface, but when it's mechanically or physically removed, it will bring back the original colour of that tooth. This can be done in lots of ways, and it could literally be anything from using different types of toothbrushes, into dental aids, in terms of the little brushes in between the actual teeth, in terms of using different types of toothpaste, because different toothpaste have different abrasivities, and also using help or support from a hygienist or therapist, or even going and using something which is a bit like microabrasion or airflow, and any of the interchangeable items that are out there that would help to just remove that, or sandblast the outside of the tooth to remove those extrinsic stain molecules. That's very simple to do, but there is a limit to how much they will change the colour of the tooth, because they don't physically change the colour of the tooth. They will only remove the stains and bring it back to its original colour. Lots of systems in terms of beauticians and other things out there will only remove the outside extrinsic staining and will not penetrate into the enamel. So bleaching is the process where we actually penetrate into the enamel and the dentine and break down those staining molecules that are actually inside the tooth structure to change the colour of the tooth from the inside. The reason this is important is it's much, much more long-term, and that colour change will last a lot longer. And we're talking typically 5 to 7 years, if done well, before it reverts back to its original tooth colour. Obviously, it goes without saying, if we maintain it at that colour for as long as possible, then that colour will last pretty much a lifetime. So, breaking that down into even further, so we've got various different ways of bleaching the tooth surface, and this all depends on how sensitive your teeth are and what would suit you best. We have systems that would whiten them through the day, and we have systems that would whiten them at night time. Whitening systems during the day, or bleaching systems during the day even, are much better and kinder to the teeth in the short term, and mainly because it will change. It's a much less amount of time that the tooth is being exposed to the whitening gels. The downside to them is they won't last as long as the nighttime ones. The nighttime ones need to be in contact with the tooth surface for a lot longer, which is why they're at nighttime, but they have much, much reduced sensitivity if planned and gauged well, and at the same time they last longer as well. So there is a balancing act between the two. People that are clenchers and grinders, especially at night time, would be more suited to whitening during the day, and those that have very busy lives or cannot actually cope with the trays and have very strong gag reflexes at night time would need to be done during the day as well. If you've got very busy lifestyles and doing it during the day and it's tricky, then nighttime is definitely for you. And that's the main two differences between all the different systems that exist out there in dentistry that you'll see. The ones that we use on a typical basis are a combination of the nighttime gels, which are our main go-to for pretty much most situations, and that's where we talk about home bleaching, which are the systems that we use. And we use a combination of systems for home bleaching. So things like the boutique whitening is one of our go-to home bleaching systems, which is a nighttime based system. And also the Philips Zoom night whites and day whites are a really good home bleaching option as well. And both of those are likely to give us a 6 to 8 shade lighter shade change from what we start with based on each person's individual need. Now, if you wanted to give it even more of a boost and go into that premium sort of wow factor in terms of the end result to get it to that fresher, brighter, celebrity style look, then that's when we go down the route of Enlighten. And the difference with Enlighten is the gels are slightly stronger, they are fresher, and at the same time, the trays that you're using with Enlighten are much tighter fitted seal because they're made pressed rather than vacuum formed, similar to all the other systems. So as a result of that, less saliva gets into the system, and the gel's concentration is much higher in terms of its involvement with the actual teeth. And that is the second system that we tend to use for that brighter, fresher look. The main questions we normally get asked is regarding sensitivity, and we have a way of recording sensitivity and measuring it and controlling it throughout the treatment that we do specifically here by starting you off on slightly lower concentrations and reviewing the progress and making it individualized. This is what makes the whitening treatment that we do very, very unique in that it's tailored individually to every single person. We would assess you fully right at the very beginning, decide what your best protocol for your needs are, what you want to actually achieve, which is imperative and so important in whitening, because one of the biggest problems is not knowing what your end goal is going to be and not understanding the expectation level of what you can actually achieve with the gels that you've chosen to have for your specific treatment. Once we know the answer to that, the rest of the treatment is fairly predictable. We can use various toothpaste to be able to control the sensitivity. We can also use various different aids and concentration levels to control and protect that as well, based on how you react to the various different gels. So every single treatment is completely individualized to every single person. And once we've got the end result, maintaining and looking after it is quite simple and straightforward by buying various top-up gels to maintain them over time. And we normally recommend every 3 to 6 months of using a couple of days or a couple of nights worth to top up the colour and maintain it at that level. Hopefully that's been really useful. So obviously a lot of information in that, but if you have any other questions, do not hesitate to get in touch with us and we'll be more than happy to look at your individual needs. Speak to you soon.